If you guys have watched any of my videos, you know I love to use my cake spinners for acrylic pour. However, one of the problems with the cake spinners, especially if you spin it a little bit too hard, is you can fling paint off the side and you really need something to contain it. Especially if you're on like your kitchen table or something where you don't have a nice big table like I have here. So what we're gonna do is create a very cheap version of this. So this I got from Lolly Vifi, and it's just a big pool that I can put this inside and do my spinning, and now all my paint is contained. But I know some of you guys don't have the budget to do that, and there's a really easy way to make this, which I want to show you. So I'm sure most of you guys out at your house, you have cardboard that you can use. And we're just going to use this to make myself a spinner container. So you can do this a lot of different ways. Now I'm going to show you just with an X-Acto knife. I have another version of an X-Acto knife here. All of them will work. I obviously, if I'm going to use the knife, I don't want to do it on my nice table. I don't want to cut my silicone mat. So I'm going to do it on this wood here. I'm going to show you a couple different versions. This is the easiest one. This little Amazon box that a lot of stuff comes in is perfect for this. And I'll show you why here. The reason being is in order to make a circular container that we want to contain the paint, I need a way for it to stand up. And the easiest way for it to stand up is to do this. Take one of these nice boxes. We're going to cut one of these edges. I don't want to cut all the way through to the second piece. So now it's all open, and what we want to do is we want to leave. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to use the folds that are already in it to allow us to make a circular. But with this box, it's not quite good enough with what we have here. So I'm going to cut the box open first, and I'm going to cut one of these sides off because we don't need it. And I'm just cutting right along the same line that the box uses, just to cut the flaps off of one side. Ooh. Okay, so again, I've just cut the flaps off of one of these. So now, like I mentioned before, look, this could potentially be the outside of a homemade paint spinner tray. But this doesn't work because these sides are too big. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a straight edge. I'm going to choose about half the distance of each one of these. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm just going to fold along that edge, just to give myself a nice line. I'm going to do the same thing here. Fold. Same thing here. And it doesn't have to be perfect. We're not looking for perfection here. We're looking for something that'll get us where we need to go. So now I've made these lines, but this won't fold over because I don't have the hole like I do here. So all I'm going to do is on all these folds on the same side where I have the cutout line, I'm just going to cut only up until the end here. So it comes out like that. So you're going to take all these lines, do the same thing, flip it over so I can fit it here. So if you can imagine, if I had two of these boxes, I'd cut these up, put my paint spinner right here in the middle, and I have a contained paint spinner box. Now I only have one of these boxes, so I'm going to show you a couple different ways to do it if you don't have some of these boxes. And all I'd really need to do here, get my tape. Any tape will do. I just happen to have this frog tape in my paint studio, so move this back out of the way. Gonna take a little piece, set this up, and just tape those two together. And I can put it up like this, tape it, get the area that I want here, tape it. And one thing I recommend doing is always tape the same way. See what I did here? I taped this under and this under. I don't recommend doing that. If you always do the same way, So the next one is always going to go on top, like this. And then I gotta get a little bit of this tape on my chest. So the next one is always going to go on top, just like this. And just do that all the way around. And then the final one will just go underneath here, and it'll all work out great. And granted, I'm making this one a little bit too small for my... And on top again, but you get the idea. All I have to do is put a plastic bag in the middle. I have a couple of the circular silicone mats that I might put in here. A garbage bag would work great, just to keep the paint from going on whatever surface, you know, if you're working on your kitchen table or something like that. And that's super easy. 2 of these boxes, maybe 3 if I wanted a bigger cake pan, would totally give me a paint pouring container. And then once the paint has dried and I'm done using it, then I can just take the tape off, fold it up, put it in the corner, and I can use that another day. So let's get that out of the way. So here's another box. I just got a huge long box because I was doing my bathroom and I needed the little backsplash on the back of my vanity. And so we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to take this long box. I'm going to pick an edge. I'm just going to pick this edge because that's the one that's already there. So now, if you notice, I have 4 even sides. And I don't need that much, and none of these have holes on them. So I can do the exact same thing. I only need one that's going to be the feet and one that's going to be the edge that stands straight up. So for this, I'm going to lift it up so I don't cut into my table. I'm going to get rid of that one. And then I'm going to do the same thing. If I want to use this to bend it, I could, but if I just want to eyeball, I could. In this case, you see the creases are going this way, so it's going to be a lot harder to bend. I'm just going to eyeball, let's go 6 inches or so. Or let's just go the width of this. And we can do the next one. And the next one. I'm just folding at the width of this. You can measure, you can guess. Now this one didn't have any specific side. I'm going to use a different razor this time. I have one of scrape razors. This will work just fine also. And I'm just going to cut to the end of one side. And again, I'm going to do this over the top, over the top, over the top, over the top, over the top. So this one box will probably give me a whole pouring container. So this would be half, and then the other one would be half. Now last but not least, some of you guys that have crafts around, you also have one of these mats that has the little circle. This thing works great also. So I can do the exact same thing. I'm just going to do it again with my same box. Get my guard off. I'm just starting right in the middle and moving out. I missed one. Missed this bad boy. Put my guard back up. I didn't cut the edge. This edge actually won't work with these, just because there's nothing to turn it off of, so I'll probably cut it off completely. Now here's the finished project where I used recycled materials to make my cake spinner container, and I'm not going to make a mess everywhere. And I can do my paintings and make a glorious mess. And if you want to see how I use a cake spinner to do my acrylic pours, this is the video for you.